dedication, proper nutrition, proper hydration, and work ethic. That's it. I told you, we're gonna have fun on this channel. Hey, welcome back. Day 44, 50 Blast Challenge. We're getting closer to the end. As you can see, I've just got a smaller gym here at the hotel. I'm traveling, so unfortunately I don't have access to all the equipment that I normally use. But let's rip through a bicep workout that I can do with what I got here. Hey, we got a cable machine, got a couple benches, got some dumbbells over there. We can make this work. All right. No fancy intro, it's day 44. We're gonna blast biceps. We're gonna have a great workout even if we're at the hotel and not in a fully equipped gym. No excuses. 50 Blast coming to you right now. Day 44, biceps. Let's do this. So obvious first workout over at a cable machine. Grab yourself the ropes. We're gonna do cable curls. Very simple. All right, so what we're gonna aim to do today is we're gonna aim to hit 50 reps over 2 sets. So you're gonna have to judge accordingly to how much weight you can handle on the day that you're working out. I just got 30 reps there. I'm gonna increase the weight and then cross that 50 reps. You don't have to hit 50, but just make sure you cross 50. Like, the goal is to always be able to do 50 reps of each exercise. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, I do 4 sets of 8 to 12. Well, what happens if you only ever hit the 8? It means you're only doing 32 reps. You know what? To each their own, but I've found even when training people, once you get to that 50 reps per exercise, you really start seeing gains at a much quicker rate. It doesn't mean you lower the weight to something that's really easy to rep out 50. No, you still have to be conscious of that mind-muscle connection, flexing each exercise, pausing briefly under the flex, and then releasing. Each exercise. Hitting the 50 is great, crossing it is even better. That's the whole point of a 50 blast, is to make sure you adequately achieve the proper, we'll call it fatigue of the muscle with each exercise. So it doesn't matter if it takes you 2, 3, 4 sets to cross that 50, just make sure you cross the 50. But at the same time, every few weeks, change up how it is you're hitting those 50 reps. You've seen us do a blast day where every exercise that we do is hitting 50 reps in a single set. And you've seen us in other episodes we'll do it over 2 reps or 2 sets. Sometimes if we're moving a lot of weight, it'll be over 4. But don't do the same thing every week. Don't do the same thing more than 2 weeks in a row. All right? That's how you get those muscles to continually grow, to continually fatigue, to come back stronger. You may not be trying to build bigger muscles, but you should want them to be stronger and more resistant to fatigue. That's when you're building them up. But I'm talking too much now. Let's get at this second set. Gonna up that weight. I owe myself at least 20 more reps to cross that 50. So that was great. I can really feel it as a first exercise. Like I said, we're already getting a real good pump there. The muscle's super dense at this point. It's doing what we need. Lighting in here is kind of nice to show off. Look at that, you got the tricep and the bicep there. This 50Blast has been exciting. I know what the results are gonna look like because I've done this several times throughout my life. I love it when we'll call them trainees, mentees, whatever. Like I don't charge to train people. I just like to see people getting fitter, and I love to see the smile on people's face when their confidence goes up because they love the way that their body looks. You know, you should always love the way you look. Doesn't matter what size you are. But if your goal is to lean up, get stronger, be the best version of yourself, visually, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it is, you should work on yourself. And anytime I've seen anyone who trains with me come back the next day, the next week, and they're just like, I feel great, I love the way I look. I know for me that I've done what I've tried to do when I set out to do it. Let's get to another exercise. All right, second exercise, we're still at the cable machine, but this time we got two handles on them, single arm. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a slight step back. That way we can't bring them down beside our body and rest the weight. Always keeps tension forward. Let's start repping these up. These ones are gonna burn because they don't allow any rest. It maximizes that time under tension. Let's do these reps. Notice my elbows are staying beside my body. They're not doing this. The moment you move your elbows, you're working your delts. So when you see people throwing weights, the reason they can lift so heavy is because they're using their shoulders to do bicep curls. You're better off lowering the weight, pinning those elbows in place, and getting a real good bicep exercise. Deadly exercise. You can get crazy pumps, crazy workouts. You don't need a lot of weight. I don't know how many times I have to say that. You watch so many other guys. It looks great when they're, they stack up the weight, and they're totally flexed under like a 100-pound dumbbell doing something, and all they're really doing is doing it for show, so that you can see it and watch. But the way they really train is a hell of a lot lighter because they don't want to get injured. Yeah, it's great for shock value. Bench pressing, 400 or 500 pounds looks great for the camera. Very few people actually do that because they're much more concerned with self-preservation. And if you can get the results, and like I said, I think the results are showing for themselves. We're just getting into week 7. I'm showing you exactly how I work out. You don't see any heavy weights. Like you can't see where I've pinned the stacks here on the cable machine. That's 30 pounds an arm. Exactly. It's technique when you're bodybuilding. Can you use light weights to get even bigger? Absolutely. But right now, my concern during this first 50Blast, I've said it many times, we're gonna lean up and we're gonna get stronger. I actually haven't put on very much muscle. I'm not 18 anymore where I have high testosterone levels where as long as you're eating, training, and sleeping, you can put on muscle fairly quickly. I'm a lot older now, so I'm not gonna gain a lot of muscle, doesn't matter how hard I work out. If I can put on 3 to 5 pounds a year at my age, you're doing very good. It's not like when you're a teenager. You can hit the gym 4 or 5 days a week, eat a ton, sleep a ton. You can put on 8 to 12 pounds a year naturally. A lot of people don't talk about that because everything is about, chemical enhancement now. But doing it properly at a young age, you can do amazing things with your body. All right, let's get back into the second set. I owe myself a bunch more reps to cross that 50. Should point out I'm actually working out in a t-shirt this time. Trent over at StateNorth hooked me up with a little bit more apparel. These are great fitting t-shirts. It's nice to be down in an extra large now instead of a 2 or 3XL. But these fit really nice. They're not too big in the waist. And like I said, they're extra large in the shoulders, which is what I like. But they still hold the biceps nicely, which is what all guys want. Couple more. Oh yeah, these shirts fit really nice there. You know, they accent where you want. Seams are where they should be for a guy as wide as me, and you know, like it's a little bit loose, but it's not like you know, like that. Great shirts. Appreciate it, Trent. Thank you very much. Again, that's StateNorth. You can find the link in the description. Amazing clothes. I can't even destroy them. All right, on to the next exercise. You rest your elbow down behind your body and you flex that dumbbell up. Let's get into the first set. Elbows behind the body. Bring that weight up. Flex briefly at the top. Release. And this again keeps the time under tension at a maximum. You don't need a ton of weight when you're doing it properly. Yeah, I'm gonna keep coming back to this. Routines are totally dependent on the type of effort you're gonna put in. If you just wanna throw heavy weight and impress everyone in the gym, or assume you're impressing everyone in the gym, all you're really gonna set yourself up for, because it's not success, you're not going to build your body the best. You're going to build your body very sloppy, and you're probably going to see a lot of injuries, and no one's impressed. The only people that might be impressed are people that are also new to the gym and don't know what they're looking at. Anyone who's serious into bodybuilding, serious into fitness, can identify people who are just trying to show off and people who are there to seriously train their body to become whatever, the best version of themselves. Please, make sure if you are gonna lift heavy, you have a spot who knows what they're doing, and don't lift beyond your means. Don't sacrifice technique to just add weight, because what that does is it builds a very sloppy body. The more you throw your weights around, the more you start activating a lot more of your core, other muscle groups. You grow really bulky and not, you know, like when you activate your core too much, especially people who are, let's call it, supplemented, chemically enhanced, we'll call it, your body becomes very susceptible to the type of actions and motions that you do. If you're always loading your body up with excess weight and your core has to stabilize because you're doing sloppy movements, your core is going to thicken up. So you're going to, and if you don't care and you just want to be a mass monster, that's fine. But what you're gonna notice is that your core is also going to thicken up. You know, especially if you're genetically predisposed to have a very thick abdominal wall or large obliques, you're going to get that bubble gut look. You're going to start going wider around the waist. You know, you're going to get a really thick lower back. None of this stuff is aesthetically pleasing. If you're just going for mass, cool, keep doing what you want to do. But for those of you who want to build a nice aesthetic body where you've got, you know, width in your shoulders that tapers down to, you know, a narrower waist, like I'm working on that right now. The more concentrated, isolated, very dedicated movements that you do, the closer to your goal you're going to get. So I'll stop, you know, ranting on that one right now. But I just want people to, one, the big thing is stay safe. The more weight you put on, even if you're experienced, that's when injuries happen. But two, it also builds not necessarily the most aesthetic physiques. So let's get back into the second set. I owe myself some more reps. And turn the bench a little bit, just for another angle. There we go. Oh, gotta take a little more off down here, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, all right. Let's get into our fourth and final exercise. So, quite an interesting piece of equipment that they have here. I don't see it in a lot of gyms. Is the straight bar with eyelids at the end, so you can attach it to the cable machine again. But instead of a supinated grip, you grab overhand and you do what's known as a reverse curl. And what that does is nicely builds up the thickness in your bicep as well as the brachio to really add good forearm strength and size. So this is actually a really unique exercise, and I'm glad I can show you because the gym I normally go to doesn't have this equipment. So let's get into the first set here. So again, you're going to want to be very strict with your elbow movement and just bring it up and down very slowly, controlling the negative, which is the returning to point zero. That's the negative. The positive is going away from point zero. The negative is returning it. And the slower you go, the more you're going to wear out that exercise, that extra superficial muscle and start working the deeper muscle tissue. Fatigue is really good. That's what causes the breakdown, which if you're eating and sleeping well, is going to cause the rebuild of stronger, more resilient muscle fiber. When people come and ask me how I build my forearms, I don't actually put a lot of effort into building my forearms. I don't do a lot of these exercises because for me, my forearms come fairly naturally. I don't use wrist wraps. So everything I do, I use grip strength, which eventually builds up from your forearm strength. That's where you get that super and the old man strength that it's known. The older you get, the better grip you have. Even if you don't have a lot of muscle, you get that grip strength because you just, especially if you grew up on a farm, You farm boys know what I'm talking about. You can open all the jars. So this is not an exercise you do quickly. Like I said, you're better off focusing on the technique and the concentration, that mind-muscle connection. It really helps work those muscle groups. Oh, yeah. There we go. Ooh. So like all that, I don't train my forearms. You know, back when I was younger, we used to do the, you know, you'd have the handle with the weight wrapped around it and you'd wind it up kind of thing. That was always too easy for me because, like I said, I have forearm mass. It's just one of those things. I have my biceps and triceps are actually, I say this so many times, they're actually a little small. Here, I'll show you. If I stand sideways, I have a very large chest, front and rear delts, which I'm happy with. My back is gigantic. If you've looked at any of my back routines that I do, I go through the routine to show you which exercises are great for the back. I do not load it up with weight because my back is huge and I don't want it to get any bigger. Back to what I was starting with, in proportion, while my arms are larger than average, they are not up to par with the rest of my upper body. In the next 50Blast challenge, I'm going to show you how to bring up your weakest body parts. And for me, that is the upper arm. Like I said, I really don't need to bring up my, this is what makes my triceps look so small, is the fact that I have huge delts, huge chest, forearms like that, and then in proportion, quite small upper arms. So, okay, everybody's got that little bit of body dysmorphia. It's just the way it is. So I get it when people tell me they don't like a certain part of their body, even if they look phenomenal. I don't even argue with them because I know what it's like to look in the mirror. You really want to fine tune your physique. You will always be the most critical on yourself. So I completely understand that. I sympathize with you. I have parts that I have to bring up, you know, like I have to work on my hamstrings. I may show you one day how bad the tear looked in my left hamstring, but I hope you guys aren't eating when I do that. So in the next 50Blast challenge, I'm going to show you how I'm going to bring up my arms, I'm going to bring up my hamstrings, my calves just a bit, and I really want to lean out my core and get back to how I looked 15 years ago. 8-pack, great obliques, all that kind of stuff. But that's for the next 50Blast. We're not even done this one yet. Let's get back at this. I owe myself another set of reps. All right, that was awesome. Yep, for the 50Blast, we're gonna do our standard standing dumbbell curls. Make sure you keep them supinated the whole time. Let's do this. All right, so that wasn't a super long workout, but felt great. You know what? The gym doesn't have a lot of equipment, but that shouldn't stop you from having a deadly ass workout. You know what? I started this whole series by telling you the single greatest exercise you can do is a push-up. So if you can do a push-up, or even half a push-up, and it gives you a benchmark, like a baseline to start for, tomorrow do 1 push-up. Next week, do 5 push-ups. Week after that, do 10, until you can get that 50. This is what this is all about. It's not about being the best the first time or else you stop. No. It's starting, finding out where you are, and then doing better next time. That's what this whole 50Blast program is all about. Then at the end of those 50 days, if you just made 1% difference every single workout that you come in, you have an amazing, you're a 50% better person at the end of 50 days. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that like a goal that everyone should strive for? So even just the fact that you guys have watched for 44 days, you know, we're almost done. I really appreciate that. Those of you who are putting this into your routines, and you know, because you could be listening to anybody. There's so many different people out there with exercises, YouTube channels, all that kind of stuff, and I want you to get as much knowledge from as many different sources as possible. The fact that you keep tuning in, watching what I'm doing, I really appreciate that. So for day 44 of the 50Blast challenge, we're in our final week. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Chris for Fit Into Lifestyle 50Blast challenge. For tonight, I'm out of here. Ciao.